Is the VIP Mastermind right for you? Well, that is what I want to talk about. But first, I want to tell you something that happened to me and was really on point to something that happened yesterday. And that is that I have not probably listened to Tony Robbins in, I don't know, might be 30 years. I did go to his events early on, but an event. I didn't go to more than one. Followed his programs. They were helpful. And then I got into acquisitions with my mentor, and kind of the rest is history. But last night, I was having trouble sleeping for whatever reason, or just woke up. Really wasn't having trouble sleeping. And I turned on a podcast, and it was a podcast in which Tony Robbins was being interviewed. It was by the comedian Theo Vaughn. And he talked about a couple of things that were really important and that absolutely hit home with me earlier this morning. So he was talking about what he does and how he primes himself every day before the start of the day. And he does some breath work. It only takes 10 minutes. He imagines in his mind, front row seat, what he's grateful for, and then also what he wants to accomplish. And he sees that as already being done. And we've talked about that with affirmations. Do I think his is more effective? Yeah, I do. And we'll talk about that a little more. But he said what's really critical is, what are you focusing on? And there's really only three things. What you have or what you're missing. So write that down. Either what you have or what you're missing. Which one of those do you tend to focus on? What you can control or what you can't control. Victim syndrome comes into that a lot, right? So what you can control or what you can't. Which one do you focus on? And then what do you focus on most? The past, the present, or the future? So three things, and write those down. What you have, or what are missing, what are you missing? What you can control, or what you can't control. And then whether you focus on the past, the present, and the future. And he gave a bunch of examples of that. I'm not going to go into those. If you're interested in what he said in that, if you go over, or even better yet, just email me, and I'll send you a link to that short video that I took out of there. But he said if you focus on what you are missing, what you can't control, and the past, as opposed to the present and enjoying it and what you can do in the future, you will usually end up angry, sad, depressed, and frustrated. And there are patterns of focus, and you can change that. So I think it's really critical. And I had a chance to use that this morning. I actually woke up around 5 a.m. Normally, I would reach over and grab my phone, but I decided to do what he said in that priming. Little breath work, gratitude, and things I wanted to accomplish. Just three things, okay? Then I got out of bed, I looked at my phone, and on my phone was a message from 3:30 in the morning from my daughter that said there was a 3-alarm fire in her apartment complex. She was displaced. She and the dog were on their way to our home in Maine. She hoped that was okay. Well, of course that was okay. And her cat was missing and got lost in the fire. Okay, so that's an event, right? It's a pretty serious event. But what am I going to do and what did I do? Did I focus on what I had or have or what I'm missing? I focused on what I have. I have my daughter. She has her dog. In all likelihood, the cat was chipped, and I think we'll find the cat. What you can control or what you can't control. I can control still being on these Zoom calls. I can still greet her. She hadn't slept. I can figure out easily. I chose not to wake my wife. What's my wife going to do? She's going to be here in about 45 minutes or so. So I got that squared away. And then I focused on, not the past. The fire's done. We need to figure out the cat. We can figure out where she's going to live and all those other good things. But enjoy the knowledge that she's safe and have gratitude for that. And then we'll figure out the future. We'll figure out what we're going to do. So that's a great example of how you can look at an event. The event's the same. There was an apartment fire. You could look at that and say, oh my God, her whole world is upside down and all her stuff is burned up and all those other things. Or you can look at it to say, what do we have still as a result of that? The most important thing is we still have her. Plenty of people die in fires. So when I think about the VIP Mastermind, which was the original title for this podcast, that was created for the best of the best. People who wanted to do business acquisition, most serious about it, it's most expensive, all those things. But one of the things we focus on in there is mindset and motivation. And twice a year we do virtual training with my marketing director, and we spend a lot of time on productivity, mindset, motivation, et cetera, et cetera. And those lessons are so critical. Some people, and I'm not saying this to give myself a compliment, some people would have been devastated by that news of the fire. They would have gone into a panic. They would have canceled all their events, and they would have run around like a chicken with their head cut off. I've learned over a lot of years that focus on what you can control and keep your mind off what you can't control. And this piece from Tony Robbins helped me focus on gratitude, focusing on what you have, et cetera, et cetera. So again, the VIP Mastermind is the best program I have. There are 2 spots open in the Sunday, 8 a.m. Eastern group. Go over to brucewhipple.com, go up to coaching, look at the VIP program, and you will find the details on that. When you look at that at the bottom, you'll see what the pricing is, you'll see what we cover, you'll see all of that. But it'll say sold out. And I want you to ignore that. The reason I put sold out is I'm pretty particular about who I let into that program. And I want to be sure that it is a good program and a good fit for the person, that they're also a good fit for the group. So if you're interested, if you're serious, if you understand the financial commitment, then send me an email and we'll set up a time to talk. But only send me an email under 2 conditions, I guess, because I just mentioned one. One, if you're interested in that Tony Robbins clip, send me an email. But if you're interested in the VIP Mastermind, understand the commitment of time, finances, and you're serious, send me an email and we'll figure out a way to talk. If you're looking for how to do this business acquisition, again, go over to brucewhipple.com, go under the boot camps and classes. The Acquisition Advantage Boot Camp is the best I have. And it also gives you access to a monthly live Q&A call with me where you can ask questions. So that's a continuing way to stay updated. If you're looking for conversation starters, again, you can go over to brucewhipple.com. You'll see the Take My Free Class. Just click on that, enter your email address, and you'll get the conversation starters on how to begin talking to board of directors, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that my lesson and experience is one that you can reflect on, but think about that and how you change if you're not doing the positive side. And again, what are you focusing on? What you have or what you're missing? What you can control or what you can't control? Or the past, present, or future? The more you can focus on the present, enjoying it, and making future plans, the better off you'll be as well. So that is that. I'm sure that we'll figure out this situation with my daughter. I'm a pretty solution-oriented kind of guy. So take that to heart. And again, if you're serious about the VIP Mastermind, then understand it. Send me an email at bruce@brucewhipple.com and we'll talk.